Discussion, Facts, Storytelling and Understanding by Nishia Ito. Made with Notebook LM. Disclaimer. This video offers an opinion on the development context and design differences between two games in the same genre. The analysis of what is better in certain aspects is limited strictly to this video's argument regarding their differing release dates.
Okay, so you've seen it everywhere, right? The endless debate, the Twitter threads, the YouTube comments. Wuthering Waves versus Genshin Impact. It's the big showdown in the gaming world right now. But what if I told you the whole fight is built on a totally wrong idea? Let's get into it. This is the question everyone's asking. Who's the king? Which one should you play? It seems like a simple question, but honestly, asking which is better means you're already missing the most interesting part of this whole story. Yep, that's the wrong question. So instead of trying to crown a winner, we're going to reframe this whole thing. And when we do, trust me, we find a way cooler story about how amazing games like these even get made in the first place. So where do we even begin? Well, the single most important factor in this entire conversation isn't the combat or the story or the graphics. Nope, it's the calendar. It all comes down to a 4-year head start. Think about it. Genshin Impact dropped all the way back in 2020. Wuthering Waves just got here in 2024. Now, a 4-year gap might not sound like a lot, but in the world of game development, man, that is an entire lifetime. And that is the secret ingredient. The developers behind Wuthering Waves had 4 years of hindsight. They had a front row seat to watch everything Genshin did right and everything players complained about. They got to learn from years of public feedback, especially all those quality of life tweaks the community was begging for. And let's not forget what Genshin was up against. They were a pioneer, building this massive game on an older engine, right in the middle of a global pandemic. They didn't have another game to copy from. They were the blueprint. They had to learn everything on the fly, out in the open, with millions of us watching. But look, this 4-year advantage isn't just about technical stuff or fixing gameplay loops. It also gave Wuthering Waves the breathing room it needed to become its own thing. We're talking about 2 completely different worlds with totally different vibes. And you can feel that difference the second you log in, can't you? Wuthering Waves goes for that serious, almost cinematic, post-apocalyptic vibe. Meanwhile, Genshin is just an explosion of vibrant color, high fantasy adventure, and pure magical energy. They're not trying to be the same, and that's the point. Which brings up a really good question. Why would we even want 2 games that are exactly the same? Having different flavors is a huge win for us, the players. It means more choices, more variety, and it helps the whole genre grow in new and exciting ways. So when you mix that 4-year gap with their completely different artistic goals, you land on the single most important idea in this entire debate. This is the thing that changes how you look at both of these games forever. Just let that one sink in for a second. It means that every single thing that feels like an improvement in Wuthering Waves didn't just appear out of nowhere. It exists because Genshin Impact already walked that path and cleared the way. There's actually a term for this: foundational success. Genshin did the impossible. It proved that a massive, beautiful, open-world gacha game could be a worldwide phenomenon. It built the audience from scratch. Wuthering Waves didn't have to prove the idea could work. They just had to build on a blueprint that was already wildly successful. All right, so where does that leave us? What's the real takeaway from all of this? How are we supposed to think about these 2 titans? Well, it's not about a competition. It's actually way, way simpler than that. Honestly, the absolute best way to think about it is like Coke and Pepsi. They're both colas, right? They exist in the same space, but they have different flavors for different people, or even for the same person on a different day. You don't have to choose one forever. One doesn't have to fail for the other to be great. So let's wrap this all up in a neat little bow. Here's the new way to see it. Step 1, acknowledge that 4-year time difference. It matters. A lot. 2, appreciate that they're going for totally different artistic styles. 3, recognize that Genshin laid the foundation for the whole genre. And that leads to the final step. See them as choices we get to make as players, not rivals in a deathmatch. And really, that's the bottom line, isn't it? Instead of wasting all this energy arguing about which game is objectively better, we could just be excited that we have 2 gigantic, incredible, and different games to play. The genre is absolutely thriving. So if your PC or phone can handle it, maybe the real question isn't which one to choose. It's why not just enjoy both?